here is a fascinating storyline that I'm sure the broadcast will pull out and thread out. That Bruce Arians on the sideline in Tampa as a two-time coach of the year, coaching Tom Brady, the only other coach to be a head coach in the NFL other than Belichick for Tom Brady, at a crucial part of Brady's career. After what he did in Indianapolis the first time he was there with Peyton Manning, and then Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. It is truly a remarkable, as we know, pairing, a fascinating pairing in the 2020 season, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. Coordinating against them tonight is the guy who called Bruce Arians in his car ride home with his wife that he told us about on our podcast years ago, Chris, after the Steelers announced his quote-unquote retirement from the NFL. And he got a phone call on the way home saying, okay, you say we're hearing you're retired. If you're not really retired, do you want to come and be the offensive coordinator for me here? That person was Chuck Pagano, who, as we all know, was the coach there with Andrew Luck and Bruce Arians when Pagano became ill and had to step away to fight cancer, into which Bruce Arians stepped into that void and had one of the most remarkable coaching seasons ever by keeping a team successful, by helping a young quarterback mature and progress, while also just merely keeping the seat warm for the head coach and not having any sort of issues of a power struggle or anything like that. We may never see again an interim head coach win Coach of the Year. And Arians was headed for home when that phone call went off. And who's there now back healthy, thank goodness, in a pandemic, coaching in a pandemic, as the defensive coordinator tonight is Pagano. And he's coaching for a Coach of the Year in Matt Nagy, making a big decision by going to Nick Foles instead of the kid who he needs to bring along because the general manager traded up to go get him instead of Mahomes and Watson, as we all know. It's a big move by Matt Nagy to send Trubisky back to the bench and put Nick Foles in there. And if Foles doesn't make it cash, that's a big problem for the Chicago Bears. And who can make that a big problem for the Chicago Bears tonight to force that offense to go point for point is Bruce Arians and Tom Brady. Fascinating story tonight, with two franchises that come in the game at 3-1 in this 2020 season, in which the NFC appears to be wide open. And if the offense cannot pull its weight tonight, the defense has to, and the coordinator of that defense again is Chuck Pagano. We can go over and over and roll it over as much as we can. I feel like I'm kneading the dough and we're putting it in the oven, and tonight it's going to be a great, great Week 5 tasty treat between the Bucs and the Bears. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Certainly, since both teams are healthy on the COVID front, knock on wood if you're with me, and we could use that diversion with the NFL tonight, go down that rabbit hole as we're wondering about other teams and the viability of moving forward as a healthy league.